Hey, I'm Nicky Numbers. I'm a professional poker player, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the considerations that should go into your post-flop strategy. There are a number of factors that you could take into account when figuring out your post-flop strategy. Some of the most important are how many chips are in the pot, how many chips are in your stack, and how many chips are in the stacks of the other players in the hand. You also want to take into account your position. Are you acting after all of your opponents and you're in position, or are you acting before some of your opponents and you're out of position? It's also incredibly important to note how many players saw the flop. The larger the number of players that see the flop, the stronger the likely holding is to be at showdown. As the number of players that see the flop increases, the likelihood of one pair winning at showdown decreases. Number of players seeing the flop is an incredibly important consideration. When you couple that with the texture of the board and the number of players still in the hand, you start to gain a very clear picture for the types of hands you should be continuing with and the types of hands that you shouldn't. It's also essential that you take into account the actions that have taken place in front of you, not just on this street, but on all the streets that have occurred before. A betting line is a series of actions across multiple streets. The betting lines that your opponents take, as well as the betting lines that you take, are going to significantly impact the information that you're aware of throughout the hand. And of course, you always want to take into account how your hand connects with the board. The stronger your hand, the more likely you should be to continue. The bigger your draw, the more likely you should be to continue. If you don't have a strong hand that you're going to regularly take to showdown, and you don't have a draw of 8 outs or more with which you can regularly continue, then unless you can take an aggressive action that will frequently result in the opponents in the hand folding, your opponents folding and you winning an uncontested pot, there's really no reason to continue in the hand. These are just some of the post-flop factors that could be evaluated, and when coupled together with deductive reasoning, it will drastically inform your decision-making process.